welcome to Lights on LA. I'm Louise Gill, and I'm here with Arshak Berrigan, and we are here at the headquarters campaign of Re-elect City Attorney Carmen Trutanich. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure.
It is our pleasure. We would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind, about your background, first of all, for City Attorney.
Sure, I'd love it. Let me start from the very beginning, because you see a guy in a suit with a red tie, and you think, well, he was born in that suit with a red tie, and far from it. I grew up in San Pedro, to an immigrant family, much like all of us. My dad worked in a cannery, 48 years. He was a cannery worker. My family grew up just kind of in the poor section of San Pedro. We're very wealthy. You can imagine, I was one of 7 children.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the middle, right in the middle, number 4. And as luck would have it, I married a lady who was one of 7, and she was right in the middle also.
Amazing.
That's right.
Number 4
number 4 as well. But my family was a very humble family. We had a house right across the street from the church. My mom went to church I can't remember my mom not going to church up until she just died a few weeks ago. But
our condolences.
Yeah, thank you. All her life, every morning 6 o'clock, she would go to church. Every day, and then only until she got to the point where she was pretty feeble and couldn't get over across the street to go to church did she stop. My dad and her would, on Saturdays and Sundays he would accompany her, but during the week he'd go to work to the cannery. And the one thing I remember, my dad died about 17, 18 years ago. And the one thing I remember clearly about my dad growing up is he'd come home every single night smelling like fish. Because he worked in the tuna cannery, and it was such a real simple life. When I was 9 years old, my mom finally let me cross the street. It was a busy street, 9th Street, to go work at the grocery store to put away bottles. And I'd work from 3 o'clock until 8 o'clock when the store closed, putting away bottles for when people would bring them in for the trade-in value. You get nickel for a redemption. And I did that all the way through grammar school till the 8th grade, and I got $15 a week for it. And I just felt like a rich kid, $15 a week, and I'd worked all day Saturday too, but it kept me out of trouble, and I would go to the boys' club, and real simple life. When I turned 15 and a half, I got an opportunity in the summer, because I'm born in August, so when I turned 15 and a half, in the middle of my school year, I got an opportunity to get a work permit, and I went to work at night at the cannery. My dad got me a job. He was at that time a lead man, and he got me a job working in the cannery at night. And I worked 4 to 12 almost every single day until I was 28 years old at the cannery. I worked all through college. I paid for my college. I worked all through when I got my master's degree at USC. I paid for my master's working in the cannery at night. And I went to law school. I paid for my law school working in the cannery. And I used to come home. I'd go to SC as an undergrad. Here as a 19-year-old kid, but I got my family. My dad worked in a cannery. He couldn't afford to send me at USC, so I'd go to work. And I'd be working in a cannery. I'd come home and I'd be smelling like my dad did, smelling like fish. And I'd have to take a lemon, honestly, and take a shower with a lemon to get the smell off, so I could go to school the next day, so the kids in the school wouldn't think that I smelled like a fish. It's a true story. And I all through college, and very simple life. And I got married after I graduated from law school. My last semester, I met my wife, and I met her. I was a marathon runner. I'd get up in the morning and exercise, and I'd go for a 10, 15-mile run. And I was running on the beach one day, and I met my wife. And
love at first sight.
Honestly, 6 months later, we were married. 9 months, and I'm going to stress this, because, as you know, in the ethnic community, 9 months and 3 days after we were married, there was a baby. And I used to tell her, I'd tell her, you better make sure that baby don't come early. And sure enough, 9 months and 3 days after we were married, we had a little baby girl, Kristen, who today is a deputy district attorney. And in fact, she's in a murder trial right now down in Compton. And my wife, God bless her, what a great lady. Every single day she's in court, my wife goes to court and watches.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that great, Mom? I'm just so impressed with that. And so we have 4 beautiful children. I mean, just 4 great kids. I stayed away long enough to let my wife do a good job. My son Nick is an assistant United States attorney in Los Angeles. Here, he works in the Justice Department. My other 2, my third child, Kimberly, is a special education teacher.
Which is very difficult.
Let me tell you, honestly, all the other kids were really great athletes. I won't say that I was a great athlete, but I was pretty athletic. I played football, I played baseball, I played basketball from the time I was 4 years old until I was in college. I mean, I played. I was an athlete.
That's why you look so great even right now.
So. And I boxed. I did karate, and I fought in a lot of karate tournaments, and I still to this day like to box. And but my daughter Kimberly was just different. My mother-in-law, my wife's mother, has polio, and I'm a firm believer that when God takes something from you, like your ability to walk, or your ability to be, to move about like the rest of us, He gives you something extra.
When one door closes, the other opens.
And He gave my mother-in-law, one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life, a personality and the ability just to flourish. And my daughter Kimmy was different than the rest of the kids. She got that gift from my mother-in-law. And growing up, I didn't know that. It was only after she graduated from college and she went to college and then started teaching, and then she went and got her special education degree, and I got an opportunity to go to her class and watch her. And these are the kids who are very, very severely challenged.
Which is not an easy job to do.
No, and she handles it with grace and compassion. Just a wonderful, wonderful human being. I'm very proud of her. I'm just
well, the foundation isn't fall far from the tree. You built a very strong foundation. So
and then my fourth one is a teacher too, and she went to, and this is my fourth one is the explorer. She went to Europe by herself to explore Europe after she graduated from college, and then came home. And then said, Dad, I'm going to Thailand to teach English.
Oh, wow.
And I looked at her and I went, where in the hell did you come from?
Wow.
But you know what? She went to Thailand and she was on that Teach America project, and she stayed there and did a great job. And now she's back and she's teaching elementary school in Long Beach. And and look at, my wife did a great job, and I was there.
You both did.
But that's my family, and that's who I am from on a personal side. On the.
How did you get into politics?
It was not by choice. I was a DA when I graduated law school. I went into private practice for a little bit, but I knew that I didn't. I grew up poor. My family didn't even know a lawyer. We couldn't afford, hardly the milkman, let alone a lawyer, So, I didn't really know anybody. And I went to law school after grad school because I wanted to help me with my business. But, when I passed, I opened a small office and I was practicing law and I was doing pretty good. But I really felt like unsure about how, why are you coming to me? Why don't you go see a real lawyer, And so I decided I was going to go to the district attorney's office and learn to be a good lawyer. And once I got there, I loved it. I mean, I fell in love with helping people. I mean, it was the best job in the world because there were victims that were just brutalized by people, these animals, mm-hmm. and I got an opportunity to stand up for those victims. And I actually was in the hardcore gang unit of the DA's office in Compton at the time when there were 1,200 murders committed in the county of Los Angeles. And I've seen everything. And I've tried every kind of case, death penalty case to drunk driving. I've done it all. And Then I was moved after Bob Philibosian was the DA, and Bob put a lot of faith in me.